I think that we have to make a movement out of this. Look at this horse shit. Inside Edition.
Army of YouTube streamers camped out in front of Nancy Guthrie's home.
We're here at Nancy's home to try to just get some information.
True crime influencers from across the nation have descended on Tucson, streaming for hours on end.
Just his show on News Nation, and I mean nobody. And therefore, he gets upset at anybody who does well, like our show, and he gets jealous.
And I'm not used to everybody hanging on to my words and then trying to hold me accountable for what I say.
Once invested, you think those mistakes are?
Releasing the crime scene, talking too much, I think are the two big ones.
And I'm not used to everybody hanging on to my words and then trying to hold me accountable for what I say.
Once invested.
Hi, hello everyone. Welcome to the channel. I'm Cheryl, and this is True Crime and Other Stuff. Thanks for being here. My goal is to bring you well-researched information and discussions on true crime, missing persons, and anything else I find important, or in this case, completely infuriating. I'm talking about the circus in the Catalina foothills. If you've been watching the legacy media, the NBCs, the CNNs, they want you to believe that the independent creators are the villains of the Nancy Guthrie case, and they're calling us ghouls, wannabes, and amateurs. But let's look at the facts. They're conveniently stepping over while they adjust their hair for the 6 p.m. news. First off, let's address the attitude the Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos and the mainstream pundits have this vibe of, I could care less what the YouTubers think. Well, Sheriff, if you could care less, that means you do care. And clearly it's eating you alive, because while you were busy clearing the family as suspects within 48 hours and handing the keys to the crime scene back to the relatives, the amateurs were the ones asking why the septic tank was suddenly being the center of the universe. The mainstream media is clutching their pearls because the independent creators are using drones to see what's happening behind the white forensic tent. They call it invasion of privacy. Really? Because I'm looking at Fox News and they have a Fox flight team drone circling the roof 24/7. So it's journalism when it's a corporate logo is on the control, but it's stalking when citizens want to know why the FBI is suddenly ripping up the floorboards 2 weeks late. Give me a break. And can we talk about the crap regarding the Nest camera? The sheriff told us the footage didn't exist because there was no subscription. Then poof, FBI Director Kash Patel shows up like a digital magician and says they recovered residual data from the back end. Yeah, the mainstream media is eating it up like a scripted drama. They aren't asking edgy questions. If the government could pull dead data from your unsubscribed camera whenever they want, what does that mean for your privacy? No, they're too busy protecting their colleagues to notice the mass surveillance state, red flag waving in their face. While the mainstream media tries to paint a picture of a unified front, the reality is a mess. We have reports that the Sheriff Nanos blocked the FBI from sending evidence to their top-tier lab in Virginia, insisting on some private lab in Florida instead. Former Supreme Court justices are calling for his resignation. The Pima County deputies are literally campaigning against their own boss. But sure, mainstream media keeps telling us that we are the noise distracting from the case.
With a backpack, going through someone's gate.
Any snippet of information becomes major breaking news streamed live.
We heard the guy go in, but when he was coming out, he said, I got it. I got it. Don't know what that is.
Jimmy Williams sits in a lawn chair streaming around the clock. In this live stream, he teases shocking chaos at the Guthrie house. So what was the chaos? He got in an argument with Nancy Guthrie's neighbor over where he parked his car.
The only action that's been out here is when the lady called the police on me.
Distractions like that, standing out here in the parking lot and screaming how bad the sheriff is, how does that help this investigation move forward?
Streamer Damian Enderly says his audience is hungry for coverage of the case and blames a lack of information from law enforcement for the surge in conspiracy theories.
Right now, it's kind of spiraled in so many directions, and the sheriff has not had a press conference.
They're actually doing more harm than good right now.
Arizona State Legislator Alma Hernandez has a blunt message for the streamers.
At the end of the day, if they really truly want to be helpful, they should probably go home.
Sloppy influencers and would-be sleuths.
Chris Cuomo is also slamming the streamers and podcasters. He really went after Megyn Kelly for focusing a lot of attention on Savannah Guthrie's brother-in-law.
I strive to bring you well-researched information, but remember, my content is for informational and entertainment purposes. Do your own due diligence, because if you're waiting for the nightly news to tell you the truth about what's happening in the Nancy's house, you're going to be waiting a long time. Thanks for watching. Peace.